Hey, everybody, I'm Sam Williams. This is Dustin Anderson. We are We Crash Podcast. Well, Dustin, here we are, number 13.
Heck yeah, glad to be here. Little new format.
little new studio. So, tell you a quick story. I watched our Zoom one last week, and I was so pissed. Audio sucked. This sucked. Videos weren't great. And I said, you know what? Forget this. So I've spent the last 4 days setting up an entire podcast studio. So, new studio. We're going to try a bunch of fun stuff tonight. We'll have some good guests tonight. So we'll see how we stumble through the new format.
I'm excited. You know, it's the format that I looked at when I was doing this a few months ago, and I just never committed to it. But leave it to Sam to take us over the edge.
Yeah, we'll see. I tell you what, I'm not a graphics person. I had to set up all these graphics, and I was emailing everybody trying to figure it all out. But we're getting close, and so we are going to try to introduce a bunch of cool stuff that's really never been done on Derby Podcast before. We're going to have live videos tonight, and we're going to be able to look in on some of these videos of past things of this summer and things we were looking forward to this coming year. And so, you know, Dustin, I didn't really get to any prep questions tonight, but, you know, I got a question this week. What is We Crash's goal with this podcast? Are we just going to do We Crash events? We want to do the whole sport? I think we want to do the whole sport and just bring all things about this sport into a podcast. But what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I think that's where this needs to go. And I think honestly, sometimes there'll be the common denominator, me or you. But sometimes we might involve Andy. Sometimes we might involve some other people. And I haven't even contacted. Well, I guess I've talked a little bit, but some of the other podcast guys, I think it'd be fun to have them on too.
Absolutely.
I'm drawing a blank on their names. The guys from Missouri. They were at Gold Rush.
Yep, Steven Adams and the hardcore guys, or the hard nose podcast.
Hard nose. Yeah, there we go. I listen to their stuff. I try and keep up on it. They do a great job. They cover everything. I think it'd be fun to collaborate. Maybe go on theirs, come back. I know you've been on theirs before, so
yep.
I think it's good. It's good to just talk about the sport, talk about what's happening.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. I think it'll be great. So tonight we got Michael Andresen with Monona County up there. So county fair, our first county fair is Ultimate Derby that we ever did. They're the ones that talked us into doing county fairs. I thought they were crazy, but they were always kind of our base up there. There was a time that we were doing 2 and 3 shows in Ottawa, and then Candace did a great job over there. And so we're going to have Michael Andresen on, one of the Fairboard guys who's been in Derby and part of a Derby family forever. So he'll be a great guest tonight.
Yeah. I haven't talked to him for a long time, actually.
Yeah, I reached out to him and I said, hey, I got an idea. And I think he thought I had a hole in my head, but he's going to come on tonight and we're going to talk a little bit about Ottawa. Then we're going to bring on the colorful Nick King. So Nick King ought to be fun. Talk a little Florida, a little bit of Madison, and Wheelman. Just pick his brain on a bunch of stuff and see how old Mr. Nick King does. See if we can keep him at about a 6 or 7. But, you know, Nick, he's like Andy. If he takes off, it's tough to reel him back from an 11 again.
Right. You know, we had talked about going to Acadia, you and I.
Yep.
And isn't it Acadia? Yeah,
it's
Acadia.
Yep.
And turns out I'm going to miss it by a week. I'm going to be in Panama City the week after.
You know, I think I'm going to go down there and check it out. Of course, might fly down on the work dime or something and do some work down there and just stay for an extra day and watch it. But super excited down there in Florida. I think it's going to be a great event. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a couple great guests tonight.
Awesome. Looking forward to it.
Well, let's throw a quick promo out here for Madison and Badger State, and we'll be back after these 30 seconds. there's Madison. I think it's going to be a blast. I love being able to see that facility, and it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, it's always that stress level, a new place, but also the excitement of a new place. It's not like you didn't spend a lot of time trying to pick the place, so there's a lot of pride on your side. But I think there's a lot of hype about it. I seen you just ran that ad. I seen XP Derby Products. They're the show sponsor. They're really excited to get more involved with the community, not just sponsoring the show, but maybe a bunch of drivers down the road and stuff. They got all kinds of fun ideas, and the show itself can be great. The camping, bring that back in. Maybe you'll get crazy like Metal Mayhem. You'll be out there like Peck, making sure people ain't burning tires off or something, huh?
Yeah, at Peck it was kind of funny. They get burning tires off, and I tell them, no. There's a Crown Vic comes into a crowd at about 100 miles an hour, And I was like, holy cow, we are gonna have somebody run over tonight. And I walk out, and nobody even knew I was in the crowd. And I kind of walk out there and said, no more of that. And it was funny. Old Phil Schnarr come up, and of course everybody's had plenty of adult beverages. And Phil says, Sam, you can only stay up so long. We will be doing this after you go to bed. And I thought, oh my gosh, I might as well just go to bed now and see what happens. But yeah, it was great. I found out later that my kid was right in the middle of the whole mess, and Chris was out there rooting him on. So of course,
I might have a video of it.
Yeah, exactly. I figured you were out there. It was a good time. Everybody had a good time. So it was a lot of fun.
Pretty safe, good fun.
Yeah.
Went from Crown Vic to diesel trucks. I'm pretty sure Phil Schnarr or PJ's. He probably had some expensive tire bills.
He did.
There was some black to pull the trailer home.
Do you know what? We did not burn a Cadillac. So Tori still has me beat at Pecatonica. So we did not burn a Cadillac. So at least I think it was a Cadillac, wasn't it? It was a wagon Cadillac. I think it was a Cadillac. They burned out there that year. I was in bed when they did that crazy nonsense. I was there though. I was there that year, but I was definitely not part of that mess.
That was one of the years I missed. I went to a lot of them. I went to my first one when my graduating year in 03 was my first time to go to Metal Mayhem, and I went to most of them all the way through 12, I think, or 13.
12. Yeah, that's awesome. They were such great shows, I tell you what. But at that time, there was no other big shows. I mean, you had Metal Mayhem, and Charlie Perini built a good show out there. Then whatever happened with that, I have no idea. But, and then you take a look at, even if we go further back and think about the Dent days. Dent was so far ahead of their time with Todd Dubé and everybody. They were so far ahead of their time. I wish I would have got to see one of his shows. But, of course, I just, I looked through Shea Walden's old photo albums. That's about as close as I'll ever get to it.
I've got mine from old G-Bro. But Mike even saved the hoods off of his two cars that he got Mad Dogs at Dent, and he saved them from, I think it was like 2002 and 2004. He got Mad Dogs. Yeah, I know they learned a lot from Toby Hiley.
Yep.
And he always told me like they were the first ones to bring leaf sprung new style GM wagons, like square body wagons out there. And I think they only got 1 year of that, and that got itch-nade. And then they started messing with Fords.
Yep. Man, Toby is a long ways out there. It's great to see that he's getting back in the inspection game. Seeing he was a head inspector down there in Kentucky. He'll have a great time with that. And I'm a big Toby fan. He's a great guy. And it is it was funny how, so I had a good friend of mine. He was driving truck for me. I owned a little auto transport company, and he said, hey, I got this friend up in North Dakota that wants to go to this show called Dent. And I said, oh, really? Yeah. I said, okay, it was like 2000, 2001, whatever it was right in there. And he's like, hey, can I borrow your drivetrain? I didn't know anything about building Fords, and I knew this Shea Walden guy knew a lot more than I did. And so I said, yeah, I'll make you a deal. You can use my drivetrain, take it out there, and I get the car when you're done. I want the whole car because I'm going to pick this thing apart and try to figure it out, right? Get back this brand new motor. Didn't have 10 minutes of runtime when he took it out there. I said, did it get hot or anything? No. It was good. I said, okay. Guess what was on the cover of the Nick's Dent book? That car with no hood on it, fire straight out of red hot stacks coming across the track with only one tire on the ground on the front. I sent him a picture and I said, didn't get hot, huh? He goes, well, it didn't get real hot. I said, oh.
Well, hot is only a figment of the imagination, I guess. Who was that?
Exactly. So if you ever see a dent book with Kevin Moore coming across the deal, that would definitely be my motor that is screaming at 100 miles an hour coming across there with no hood, no radiator, and just letting her rip, I guess.
I might have to do a little YouTubing.
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like I've seen a video clip of this.
Yep. And and at that time I could not afford to replace it, but I did get the Ford. One more story that goes with that. So then we have that bad fire in Valentine, right? Lost a ton of old iron wagons and Buicks, and we lost over 30 cars in this bad fire. And so I found an old Crown Vic and took it to Winter, South Dakota. And Donnie Harder out of Gillette, Wyoming walks over and he says, "Man, if you needed cars, you should have just said something, bud." And I had done all those little tricks that Shay had done on my car, and it was way ahead of its time, right? I went out there and I just drove through everybody and got, I don't know, second or third in the show. And he walked over and all he said was, he goes, "You know something we don't know." And that's all he said. And he walked off. And it was great. I had an old Crown Vic and it was good. We bought it in the Calcutta and I think we made, $3,000 or $4,000 that day. So it was a good day. Not a bad day.
Awesome. I like it.
Yeah. So we'll get Michael on here. I want to talk about Ottawa. He's going to come on here in a few minutes. But camping, you mentioned camping in Madison. So there's 95 spots of camping. What's crazy is camping is sold extremely well. I think we've sold already more than we thought we'd sell altogether. Being in March, you just never know what the weather's going to be. But I think the camping is going to be a big deal up there. I think it'll grow into. It's a big island. So there's a whole island with all these camping spots all the way around. And I think what you're going to find is just sections of this island are just going to be with groups of people over time. And I think it'll grow into that. So
I haven't had the conversation yet, but I was thinking about pulling the ice castle there and telling you to not get the hotel room for me and I'll stay in the ice castle. Be kind of fun.
I think we're all going to pull campers up there and stay in campers. I think that's what we're going to do as well, and stay in campers up there. And the hotel is beautiful. Don't get me wrong. Love the hotel. But man, for whatever it is, $250 for the week. I mean, that's a hotel night. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We're definitely debating it as well, but I still need to sell hotel rooms. So don't everybody jump on the camper thing, cancel your hotel rooms. I still got a bunch of those to sell. I'll be in deep trouble. I'll be paying attrition everywhere. But yeah, so it's I'm excited about the camping. Now they're not going to turn on water for us unless it's over a sustained 40 degrees. If it's over sustained 40, then they'll turn the water on for us, get it all going. But the nice thing is there's 24-hour bathrooms and shower house right there in the vending building. So I think it'll be good.
I like it. I don't know. There's something about camping at the show. A little bit of extra camaraderie. Maybe, like I said, a little bit of that little fun stuff in the evening. But I don't know. I like it. I haven't got to do a ton of it. I remember we went and camped at Drive for Five in northern Wisconsin a couple times. That was fun.
Yep.
So that's why I was thinking about telling you when we were talking hotel rooms on our planning meetings. I was kind of in my head like, God, maybe I should just pull the castle out. It'd be kind of fun.
So planning meeting, let's talk about the production side of Madison. We're walking in and dude, they're giving us plugins. Gold Rush kind of spoils us, right? Because we get $150,000 worth of equipment, beautiful facility, beautiful equipment. Madison's going, hey, here's a scoreboard and a cord to it. And it's a little different up there.
They both bring their own challenges. I mean, this is a different set of challenges, doing more on your own. The other one is trying to get two big groups of people to collab, where it's on us, which is great. We can have more say, but it's all on us. There's a lot of them little things that, I don't think people realize the planning. We get multiple every weekly meetings, and then sometimes in the midweek too. And then the text chain and the email chain. So I guess, yeah, people probably don't understand that or whatever. I honestly didn't either, just the amount of going back and forth and whatever that's all entailed in it. But it's a lot, but it's what it takes to try and put out the best product.
It is. It's one of those super excited about it. And I tell you what, to see our team step up and know that we have to handle the full production like we did at Pecatonica, bringing in, the high dollar cameras, bringing in all that kind of stuff and watching everybody work through these production lists and how it's all going to work. And I agree with you. I love the Gold Rush side of things. I love having their team there. But you know what? Having Derby people on the cameras, having Derby people that understand the shots and Derby camera guys. I'm super excited about that, and I think it's going to be a heck of a show. So really, really buzzed about that. But well, we are going to get Michael in here. I think he just shot me a text. Let's see what it says. All right, I think we're going to get him in here. He's having a little bit of camera issue, so we may not get the camera on him, but we'll be able to hear his voice at least. So the new site's a little bit different, a little bit touchy with the cameras, and we're working through it.
We just went through that ourselves. Found out we have to be in Google Chrome. I just learned that, and I remember there was in the list of things was Google Chrome, but I overlooked it, and I was in Microsoft Edge, and it did not work worth a darn. Now we're good.
Hey, I think it's going to be good. But let's get Michael in here, and we'll find out if we need to send more instructions when we do these setups. But I think we're going to be in good shape. So we're going to have a quick video here. We're going to do a promo video for Ottawa, and then we'll get Michael Andresen in.
Awesome.
Yeah, I do like having those videos. But we got Michael Andresen here from Ottawa, Iowa, Monona County Fair. Michael, can you hear us?
Yep.
All right, we got him. Whew, we got the microphones figured out. We're getting better. We're getting better, Dustin.
Perfect. How's Michael doing tonight?
I'm good. Just wish I could have figured that camera out.
Don't worry. I had Dustin log on about 20 minutes early, and it took us all 20 minutes to figure his out. So I think we're going to have to play with this a little bit and send better instructions. Just means we're going to have to bring you on again before we get to the Ottawa and the Monona County Fair, buddy.
Yep.
So you guys start preparing a long ways out, basically the day we end the Derby in July, and you guys are already planning for the next year. So talk to us a little bit about this year, what you guys are excited for. Then we'll rock through each class. We'll kind of talk through each class, and then I'm gonna surprise you with a video. And nothing bad, don't worry. It's not any bad videos of me doing anything stupid or nothing like that. But I wanna kind of walk through the Muse getting burned last year and kind of get some of your thoughts on that as a fair board member, and some of that, talk about safety a little bit. So talk to us about some of the exciting stuff you guys got planned up there in Ottawa for July 11th and 12th at the Monona County Fair.
Yeah, we've had a lot of guys reach out about the two-man front-wheel drive team show. So I'm glad we got that going on. Bone stock was great last year.
It was.
I think we're going to have a lot of those cars again. Mods are always fun to watch. Yeah, I don't know. It was a fun show last year.
It was. A lot
of good drivers came last year. It was great.
We were a little bit worried about the car count last year, and we were all sweating bullets like we all do at a county fair when you have 92 shows around us. And I'm telling you what, the drivers who showed up were top notch, and it was a great event from start to finish. And it was just a lot of fun. We had that promo video up there a little bit ago, and we're going to be cutting a lot of these videos, getting closer to the show, just to show people how great that event really is. But man, if somebody hasn't been to Monona County before, Michael, it was the first county fair we ever did. And I'm telling you what, I cannot remember a year when there wasn't a concussion or there wasn't something crazy, because these guys drive at 100 miles an hour on one of the fastest tracks and longest tracks we go to all year long.
Yeah, I like built that track pretty long. I don't know. Makes it interesting, I guess.
It does make it interesting. That's for sure.
I love that track. I haven't been there a ton. I think I've been there 3 times, and the consistency of the clay in that part of the country, and just the cars hook up. That group of drivers that's local, your Team Busch Light guides and whatnot. Man, do they put on a show? And yeah, like the track itself is really great. I mean, it reminds me of like Oski, just the consistency and the speed they pick up and how fast they get it. So looking forward to. I don't know if I'm coming to that one yet, but it's on my list. I think that's one I want to hit.
You know, sure. Dustin, you come to any event you ever want to, buddy. You know that. You're like the superstar.
Yeah. Thank you.
No. You know, you think about Blizzard Bash back in the days. I mean, whether it's Team Black and White with Gockel's team and all those guys, Dylan Lang, all those guys, Joel Harris and Jared Starr and the Team Camo. And just think about all those guys that have driven at Ottawa over the years and all the teams that come out of there, whether it's Octane or Busch Light, or I know I'm going to forget some, Black and White, Team Camo, all those teams that everybody's known for all these years, right? They was so great. What's that? JYD come out of there. I mean, just amazing drivers that beat the dog shit out of each other all night long. And they would do it year after year after year. I mean, Michael, your crowd gets to see some of the best drivers in the country. I mean, we used to say it, man. It's just iron and sharpen iron.
Yeah, for sure. I think the crowd loves it. That's why they come back every year.
It's a cool environment. It's, you know, the crowd gets into it. The crowd has their favorites and they do well. So, you know, one of the big classes that we'll have is the super stock class. This is a wheelman qualifier. We're having one and dones both nights. So we'll have a Friday night and a Saturday night, one and done. And I'm telling you, the amount of money that's getting paid in these one and dones is crazy. So all the cars that run at Madison, they all qualify for this. They're going to have their fix-it plates. We're going to get all that stuff out to these guys. But all the cars that run Madison, Pecatonica, can all run here. So that's the nice thing is the rules are identical. And it's $4,000 to win, $2,500 for second, $1,250, $625, $250 with a $500 Mad Dog. Dustin, this is a county fair, paying out $4,000 to win a one and done. Crazy money.
That's awesome. That should drive some cars there.
Yeah,
and it should be one of them each night.
One each night. Yep. So it'll be one each night.
And you're going to qualify for the wheelman. How are you going to do that? Have you decided you're going to do the 3 and a Mad Dog each night then? So you're going to get a total
each night will be 1 and a Mad Dog. So each night will be first place in a Mad Dog. Yep. Okay. So that'll get us the 4 out of Ottawa. Mods. We're looking for a minimum of 10. I think it was 10, wasn't it, Michael? 10 or 12?
Yeah, I like around 10.
Yep. So we're looking for a minimum of 10, which, you know what, mod drivers, you keep asking for shows, then none of you sign up and come. This is the show to come to. We're most likely getting rid of it at Peck. It's not at Madison. This is the show to come to. There's 5 million mod cars sitting up in the weeds around Ottawa, Iowa. So $3,000, $2,000, $1,250, $500, $500 Mad Dog. So should be an awesome event there for the mods. We know you're just going to bust up each other's steering, hit each other at 100 miles an hour, take the same car home. So you might as well put it back together and bring it.
Yeah, bring it back Saturday night as well.
Nice thing is, Michael, then you're paying them to come back on Saturday night after they don't wreck their cars. They're coming back Saturday night for another one and done for $1,500 to win Saturday night with only a $60 entry fee. No minimum on that night. 2-man team front-wheel drive compacts. Now, Michael, the front-wheel drive compacts have gotten huge up in your area, and they put on one hell of an event. Now, I said, hey, for this kind of money, we're doing heats each night, we're doing this, and you corrected me and said, no, Sam, that's one and done money. So talk us through how in the world do you pay out $5,000 to win, and you're only requiring 10 teams to come to this thing. So it's only 20 cars, and 25% of them, 30% of them are getting paid money.
The guys ask for it. I like to respond and try to make it work. I mean, they don't want to work on the cars. It's a class that's kind of hard to work on them after running one heat, and I don't know. I just pay attention to the drivers and kind of listen to see what they want.
Man, that's awesome. So again, 2-man team front wheel drive compacts, $300 entry fee. We're looking for 10 teams in that one. $5,000, minimum of 10 teams. Don't get me wrong. It's not going to be maximum, but minimum of 10 teams. And we're going to keep the number down a little bit, but one and done. 5,000 to win, 2,500, 1,250, 500, 500. So all you do compact guys who have been screaming that you don't get respect, you don't get this, you don't get that. I'm telling you, compacts are paid more than mods. They're paid more than bone stock. So at the end of the day, compacts, you're paid more than super stock in a wheelman qualifier. So compacts, you better come out because I'm telling you, that payout is amazing. And we're going to run with the same rules that's in the area. And so Ultimate Derby is, we're talking to Candace and we're going to work all that out. And we're going to run the same rules that are in the area. And so that'll be nice. So you can go right from here to another Derby that's going to be running the same rules right after that. So it'll be a really good trio of events up in that area.
I was just going to ask about the rules and where it was at. I like that, especially for the county fair. It's one thing we go to the, like a Gold Rush, you're going to use your set of rules. But I mean, yeah, you gotta respect the areas when we're talking county fairs. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of money, but it's still a county fair. It's going to attract them guys. So it's really nice to use rules that are going to interact locally.
Yep, absolutely. Bone stock, one of the most fun events in Ottawa. It is wild and never seen anybody take a $2,500 car and drive it at 100 miles an hour except for the national show. And I'm telling you what, that is Ottawa, Iowa. These cars come out destroyed. So we're running 2 one-and-dones on Friday and Saturday night. Each one's a separate one-and-done, separate entry fee. You sign up for the night you want to run. We're looking for 20 to 24 cars maximum, 3,000 to win each night, 1,200 or 1,250, 625, 250, 500. So, man, I'm telling you what, Michael, where are we at? Like a total of $52,000, $55,000, something crazy?
Yeah. Yep.
Now, Michael's also given us permission to add one more class that the drivers are going to choose. So once we get registration open, find out what fills, we're going to throw a poll out there and see what everybody wants to add for their last class. And we have a little bit of money left to play with. And so we're going to add one more fun class in there. We also have front-wheel drive compacts can come back on Saturday night, separate entry fee, singles event, separate prize money. Vans will also be Saturday night, only a $60 entry fee, one and done, no minimums, $1,200 to win. So, Michael, you and your fair board have put on one hell of a prize money. Now it's our job to get the cars there and put on a good event for you. And We Crash is going to catch it all on pay-per-view. So we're excited for it, man.
Yeah, me too.
So last summer we had the John Muse got burned situation, right? Nothing that nobody's failure, just a car upper radiator hose failed. But as a fair board member, I kind of want to watch this video with you. And then after the video, we're going to kind of talk through it and talk about the safety of the drivers, talk about some of those different things. I think you've got a little bit of firsthand knowledge of getting hurt in these type of events, whether it's tough truck, demolition derby, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to pick your brain a little bit, man, here. And so let's watch this video together. So we'll catch it from 2 different angles here. So this will be the first angle. Here's where the hose lets go. And again, it'll go off the screen here, but then we'll catch it on the second angle from the backside. And Michael, I think you were standing down on that end of the track.
I was, yep.
At this point, he's getting soaked in hot fluid. They've been going for about 45 minutes at this point.
Oh.
So from a fair board deal, we all want to keep everybody safe, but it's 100 and some degrees out there. Upper radiator hose, let's go. What goes through your mind knowing you're a driver? You've been hurt in some of these vehicles. What goes through your mind when you see John, getting out of the car and, is it instantly go to help? Is it, hey, let's grab EMS? What is your deal? Or do you just say, hey man, hopefully the promoter's got this? You're so hands-on as a fair board member. What went through your head and all of that?
I just wanted to get out there and make sure he's okay. I thought the car was going to land on him. when he was jumping out. So I was
Yeah.
just praying that it never happened that way. But yeah, I mean, our EMS was standing right there too. So I mean, they came running.
They did.
I think everyone was hands on deck, ready to roll.
Yeah, and that's one of the most impressive things about it was, I mean, he had care instantly. And again, we don't want anybody hurt. And, it's kind of crazy. I've talked to John multiple times since then about, hey, do we start requiring a 3-inch fire hose over top of our hoses? Do we? Because all it was when Zach hit him, the hood come down and cut the pressurized hose, and it had nowhere to go but straight back at John. And so it wasn't a radiator let go. It was purely the car caused the hose to break and sprayed him down. And so, we've talked about, going forward, fire jackets are mandatory. I don't care how hot it is out because, I mean, Michael, that event was hot temperature wise. I mean, it was well over 100 degrees.
Yeah, that was brutal.
And I mean, the drivers had been working on their cars. Another reason that you said, hey, can we go to one and dones? I don't want the drivers to have to work on these cars. We don't want to pit on them. We don't want to do all the crazy stuff. It's just too hot that time of year.
It is. Last year, I mean, 2 years ago, we had a great weather. It was in the 70s. Hopefully that's how it is this summer. Last year was very hot, and I understand why the drivers didn't want to wear a fire suit.
Yep.
I mean, yeah.
But I tell you what, that's what I love about your guys' Fairboard is you guys are trying to think about the drivers in every way, every shape, every form. We have so many county fairs that reach out to us at Ultimate Derby and try to get us to do their events. And man, I tell you what, there's one county fair that we want to do at Ultimate Derby, and that's it. When I asked the kids this year, I said, hey, it's a lot of work. Do you want to keep doing it? And Nicole's like, absolutely, Dad. We told Michael we would be back. And I said, okay, I just don't want to burn you guys up. And I'm telling you what, Nicole said, Dad, if there's one event that I would not want to miss in the summertime, it is the Monona County Fair. She goes, I have so much fun there. And they've only been there one time. They barely remember it as kids. But I think they remember it more than they think they do.
Yeah. I think all the drivers back around here will enjoy it.
Yeah,
enjoy all your family back here.
It's a good fit for us. And I think we're going to bring campers this year and just stay out there at the fairgrounds and enjoy the drivers and have a great time. So, whether it's camping, any of those questions, get a hold of us. We'll get you in touch with Michael and his team down there at the Fairboard. And Michael, is there anybody you want to thank? I know your family's super involved. You guys make a ton of sacrifices as Fairboard members, your family. I know you got little ones at home. Anybody you want to thank tonight, buddy?
That's family. That's number one.
Yep. Absolutely.
And the rest of the Fairboard. I mean, it takes an army to do it. So.
Well, we're looking forward to it, man, and we will see you in July. But we'll get you back on here again before we get there. So, hey, everybody, it will be July 11th and 12th. Registration is coming open this Friday night at 7 p.m. You can go to Ultimate Derby for all the details, and we will get everything out there. And Michael, we look forward to it, man. We can't wait to see you this summer.
Yep, same.
All right, see you, buddy.
Yep, see you, Michael.
So, dude, I can't wait. How crazy is that Muse video, man?
Yeah, I had almost forgot about it. And in fact, that second angle, for some reason, I don't remember seeing it. But, that's a heck of a rivalry, him and Zach Johnson.
It is.
And you can even watch in the first video, I think it was Tubby. And when they were nosing, Tubby's right on the fence line. You're like, yeah. But I mean, that's the rivalry. And then when that happens and you see John flying out of the car, I remember Zach even told me, and I've talked to John too, and they're like, yeah, you just don't want to see that. He's seen John jump out of the car as the smoke was coming out, and he's like, what happened? Like, oh my God,
Yeah.
Well, nobody wants to hurt each other. And I know John did start making some put a sleeve on some of the hoses to try and protect it from that, which,
Yep.
Hey, that's what NLR does. They sell products and keeping people safe. I mean, you keep learning from things like that, and then the fire jackets and whatnot.
So I had an interesting call this week or a couple weeks ago. And so Chad Markley called me and he said, hey man, when do we start as promoters all talking about safety? When do we start having this conversation, whether it's length of track or something to protect these guys? You watch the Austin Johnson, purely car and track. There was nothing else besides a seatbelt, just darn near cut him in half. When do we start having those conversations about safety? And I said, Chad, we can put all of our differences aside. I'll jump on a call anytime, any day with you, and let's talk about that stuff. And that's what I love about this sport is it's starting to come together and starting to create this environment of, hey, let's protect our drivers, let's still put on good shows, and let's all be on the same page. And that's what I see a lot of this being is, I'm excited about some of the places this sport's going to go to, and I think it's going to be great. So that's one of my goals. I don't know if I can get Chad on here down the road, but we're going to get Chad on here, and I would love to talk to him about safety and maybe about a Capital Carnage in 2016. Hopefully we don't have to talk about that, but
sweep that under the rug.
Yeah, we'll just blow right by that. But Chad and I have talked about it many times, and so it's been we've definitely had that conversation a lot. But he's being so involved with whether it's demo or Blizzard Bash or our stuff or whatever. I mean, he's trying to be an ambassador in the sport in so many different areas. So hopefully we can have.
He's still kind of running that CC. Is it the CCCA? I believe.
I think it's the CCDA, maybe Derby Association. I think it's CCDA, maybe it's CCCA.
But you're right.
I'd love to get him back on and let him talk a little bit about his events. And I mean, he does a great one over in Bowling Green, Missouri. He just does a lot of good events. And so hopefully we can get him on one of these days and chat a lot more about safety. But our next guest,
even the Teddy P incident, that brought up a lot of conversation, and I'm actually really in agreement. I believe it was actually Pete Hansen had it done, but running a piece of like 1.5 or 2x2 just on the inside of your window opening on the driver's side only, and tie it to your sidebars or something so your roof can't collapse. Because even with your front window bars and a halo, you still have that weak spot on the corner.
But even if you take a look at that, Teddy's head was outside the car. So with Teddy's head outside the car, it ain't going to matter what you put in that window outside of a window net. And don't get me started, Bryce Lanou. I'm not a window net fan. So
I'm from Minnesota. I am not a window net guy.
Because you're trapped in there if you have a fire. How many people bail out their window if they have a fire, right? I don't want to go towards the fire, and I'm sure as heck not going towards the bomb that's sitting behind me. So I don't know what the right solution is.
Because I've seen them window nets, bumpers hit them too. So that's always going to be a personal preference. But yeah, no, the safety conversation it probably needs to be had more. We've had some incidents at UD. They had some incidents at demo. You had the incident we just discussed, and they're all kind of different things, but they're things that have happened. Like the Austin Johnson one. What do you? I mean, he's
4-point harness. A 4-point harness, at least. I mean, it. Even Chad was saying, do we go down to maximum 2-barrel carburetors? What do we do? I mean, we're pushing 700 and 800 horsepower on 180 feet of track. These guys are doing 50 miles an hour into a concrete block. I mean, there's nothing to give but your body. And so I don't know what the right answer is, but Chad even said, are concrete blocks the right way? Are they not the right way? He goes, Teddy almost got killed on a concrete block. But I said, man, we kept everybody safe because an EMT almost got killed at Gold Rush last year when a car went right off his hind end when it went off the track. So I don't know what the right answer is, but I guarantee you we put enough of the smart people, smarter than me, in the same room. We'll come up with
maybe we need derby safer barriers.
I'm not. We've been saying, what if we put dirt in front of them? If we put dirt in front of our concrete barriers, well, then the bad thing about that is it slides down, creates a ramp. I don't know what the right answer is. That's the whole
reason we discussed going away from dirt at Gold Rush. I mean, you can get it nice, and you can have the best dirt guy in the world, but especially you throw some trucks out there, it starts taking a beating, and the next thing you know, you just got a dirt ramp, I don't know. From a driver's perspective, I think I would rather use the concrete personally, even though it's harder on the body.
Yep.
Because I don't want to you can still get pinned, but I just don't want that option where, two guys hit me just right. I got a bumper in the dirt and I'm dug a hole and I'm screwed.
Yep.
I'd rather lose my front suspension in the process of trying to get out, but I can get out.
Nope, I agree completely. And that's, the concrete was the best thing we did, in my opinion, at Gold Rush. And the officials were safe. Everybody was safe. Drivers, we didn't have any driver everybody respected them. And that's what I like about them. We've already got them already being poured brand new for Madison. They're guys 10 minutes away pouring all brand new forms for us. And I think he got a bunch done this week. And I said, man, we got to pin those together. They got to get hit by a derby car. And he goes, don't worry. I took my front end loader and I smashed them. No hold up. I said, come to the event one night. I'll show you what we do to them.
We'll change that.
Exactly. All right, let's get Nick King on here. We're going to do a quick promo for Southern Nationals down in Arcadia, Florida, and we will get Nick on here, and he looks all antsy. I can see him in the bottom of my screen, so we'll get old Nervous Nelly on here and see what he's got to say.
Iron City Promotions presents the Iron City Southern National Saturday, February the 8th at Mosaic Arena in Arcadia, Florida. It is the largest demolition derby in the Sunshine State with non-stop action and over $43,000 in prize money up for grabs. Come watch the best in the business chase a $10,000 prize in the main class. For tickets, go to IronCityPromos.com. Gates open at 9. Action starts at 6. That's the Iron City Southern Nationals presented by Kelly O's World Famous Diner Saturday, February the 8th at Mosaic Arena in Arcadia, Florida. Online, IronCityPromos.com.
Well, there's Nick King.
What's up, guys?
Nicholas, how's it going?
Good. Freezing.
Freezing. I'm in Texas. It's like
Don't even start. Don't.
It's like 2 degrees here.
how's the asphalt working?
I seen above zero for the first time in like 72 hours today. My high 2 days ago was negative 17. We hit negative 34 in the morning with a negative 62 wind chill. So,
Yeah.
But I live in BFE up north, so that's fair.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of used to it. And Sam's left that and hangs out in Texas, and they're getting
Yeah.
snow.
Hey, my pool outside has got ice on it. It's a bunch of shit, boys. That's all I'm going to tell you. Is the pool's got ice on it, and it's not supposed to happen that way. So we'll be 50 degrees though this weekend.
Arcadia, Florida is getting snow right now.
I was just down there Saturday. It was like 67 degrees.
Yeah, well, they're getting snow. I'm sure the locals are losing their mind.
Yeah, I flew in at a monster truck show, passed out like 3,000 flyers, and flew back home Sunday. Went from 67 to 5 degrees. So
That's awesome.
You know what? That's when you know you've become somebody.
yeah, right.
So talk to us about Florida, man. What are you thinking? It looks like an awesome venue. I've talked to Todd a few times about it. Todd and Steve are super excited. So talk us through that, man. So helping Iron City over there, you're their head tech.
Yep.
So let's roll through it.
Yeah, everything's shaping up pretty good. I think all the classes are full. I think the only class that might not be full is the most wanted, but we have a bunch of guys that plan on just coming and signing up the day of for that class. I mean, we say we'll take 30, but we'll cram 45 out there, 45 of them show. We're not turning no one away for that class.
Yeah.
The main class is full. I mean, we've seen people say they're not coming or they are coming. Whatever it may be. But yeah, everything's going pretty good. All the questions are coming in, along with Madison and 16 other shows, it feels like. But yeah, we're working our way through it, and it's going to be awesome. We got Chris the Florian coming down a week early. We talked to the track owners or the Mosaic Arena people this weekend, and told them how we was doing everything. And I believe there's a guy down there. He's going to start getting the barriers maybe in set up so we can take them in easier than where they're at now. So
Good.
Yep.
Any of that prep work you can do is huge, and it's tough when you go into a new facility and try to work all those different things because you're creating new relationships with everybody. It's a lot of work, but man, once you get it, it's like rinse and repeat.
Yeah, when we was there 3 years ago or whatever it was, 2 years ago, we had all the jersey barriers, kind of like what we do at UD. We had them made strictly just for the show, and they've been there since. So
Yep.
when we got down there Saturday and we looked at the monster truck show, they had, I think, 7 or 8 of them out there using them for the monster trucks. So it's cool that they don't care if we store them there. We're allowed to store them there free of charge. So
That's
it's
awesome.
it's pretty cool.
Now, did you paint Iron City across every one of them so that when the monster truck guys use them, they get to do the free advertising for it?
No, we didn't think about that.
I told Mike Davis, I said, hey man, I just bought 60 barriers that are 10 foot long. You're going to be painting them all. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, good advertisement for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see if we can get the graffiti boys rolling on that. So your iron class super stock is 10,000 to win. Heck of a class. How many cars you got signed up for that, Nick?
I believe 30.
Oh, that's going to be great. So one and done then.
Yeah, one and done. Everything's one and done.
That's awesome. Come to Florida, bring your one and done, put it back on the trailer when you're done, and go party and have a great time.
Yeah, that's the ultimate go from that whole derby for eternity, as long as we can have it.
Yep.
You know, is always one and done. We don't want to have people. They're already traveling 20 hours with a car. We don't want to have them travel 20 hours with an extra motor, an extra transmission, extra rear end, extra parts. You know, spare tires for the trailer to get down there. You know, a few spare parts just in case something mishaps in the inspection line, which hopefully never does. And that's it. We don't want to have to sit there and work on cars for hours on hours, and then the next day it's more of a family getaway, go to the beach, come derby, go back to the beach.
Absolutely.
I
That's
like
my
that.
kind of derbying right there.
Yeah.
I don't know about the
Humpty
beach.
Dumpty 2-man extreme. Who in the rotten hell came up with Humpty Dumpty 2-man extreme? That had to be you, Nick, because
No.
Steve and Todd are way too professional for Humpty Dumpty 2-man extreme.
Actually, that come out of South Carolina Derby Productions.
Yeah.
They was a qualifier last year for the Wheelman.
Yep.
So I went down there. Steve ran. I worked, and after the show, Steve, we was talking about what classes we're going to have for Southern Nationals, and we've always wanted to have a 2-man extreme, and he said that Humpty Dumpty class was just awesome. So we got with Carolina Derby Products or Promotions, and basically just took their rules word for word. And if I have any questions, I call them, and we're trying to get it to where it's spot on their rules. We answer most of them. That it's pretty plain in the rules what you can and can't do. But if there's an issue, I'll call him, and then I'm like, they don't allow it in South Carolina. We're not going to allow it here. So.
Good for you, man. That's awesome.
I mean, it's all metric GMs. It's the last year that was the class. That was the class of the show. It was awesome.
That's great. So let's talk about that. I mean, let's run through the classes real quick. Full size light build 5,000 to win. MWFA 1,500 to win. Front wheel drive compact 1,500 to win. Battle of the States minivan brawl 6,000 goes to the winner. Pit pass is $30. General admission $25. Great show. Great way to get in. Iron City Promotions is putting it on. They're doing the production. They do everything in-house. Chris Marcourt does everything on the production side, does a hell of a job. So let's talk about how many different promoters Nick King helps. So you help Iron City, you help Ultimate Derby, you help Toast Promotions. Is there anybody else?
That's it.
Holy bucket, that's it. There's a few shows there, big guy.
That's a lot of
So,
stress.
when we're talking about rules, now you do derbies. You work with people all the way from South Carolina all the way to South Dakota.
Yep.
Florida to South Dakota, you actually put on the shows, right?
Yep.
What's it going to take to us get to one set of rules per class? I mean, is that even possible?
I think the only possible way that you could do that is you got to have, say, 15 guys that's going to do. You're going to have 3 in the compacts and the minivans. Like if you're talking around every class that Derby people promote, you got minivans, compacts, full size, stuff like that. I think the only possible way you could ever make that happen is if you just have 15 guys that go to every big show. Every county fair. I don't think every county fair needs to have the same set of rules because it is, but it would be awesome in the long run if you could get 15 big shows throughout the year to run the same set of rules. But only way I think that would ever happen is you got to have the same guys going each way. Because for me, in Ohio, and when we go to Pennsylvania or Florida, we're going to look at something completely different than what I see out in South Dakota.
Yep.
Because guys just do stuff completely different.
Yep.
And then if you get a whole different set of guys inspecting to the same set of rules, I may think a down bar is this way. Another guy may say it's that way. And now it's basically 2 different sets of rules again.
Yep, I agree with you. That was our goal with Wheelman, and this is a Wheelman qualifier down in Florida. Thank you and your whole team for that. That's awesome. But that was the one thing that my goal was for Wheelman is someday get to the same set of rules with the same inspector and build that class so big that if somebody wants to be part of a Wheelman, that's great. Hire this inspection team to come in and help. We don't need to run the whole thing. Just bring in 1 or 2 guys. If you and Chris went in and helped some of these different promoters, and I think we can get there maybe down the road, but we're a little ways from there now. But it's a goal of mine.
But I think that ultimately that's the only way it would ever work. Like I love the ideal of you can build a car and go run 5 different places from state to state to state, but someone's going to look at your build completely different and they didn't expect it to be that way, or they didn't interpret they don't want it to be that way. We want it to be that way. So on. It's just so hard. I think trying to get everyone on the same page
Yeah,
Agreed.
as
you'd almost have
inspectors.
to you'd almost have to create almost like a if it wasn't the same people, and maybe it's only like a couple advisory people or an advisory board where a lot of the questions channel through that board and you make a huge group decision. But yeah, it will take a lot of people at different points to make it work for sure. It'd be
Yeah.
awesome if you could, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, I
patience
would
are-
love I would love to do 2 shows a month, and that'd be my job. That'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, you charge me enough. You should be able to skip a few of them. That's
Yeah,
all I
right.
Nick. So Madison, we got Madison coming up here. We got a few minutes left here, buddy. Let's talk through Madison. Brand new facility. So what did you think of the concrete? I mean, you guys have used concrete before. So what
Yep.
did you think of the concrete down at Gold Rush? Thumbs up, thumbs down? What was your thoughts
Thumbs
on the
up.
concrete?
I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
We're doing so our first show in Florida we did concrete barriers, but we didn't have nothing behind it.
Yep.
So basically our Florida tracks, we're going to try to look just like Gold Rush. We're going to do the concrete barriers with the dirt behind it. Nice square dirt behind it. That way the concrete walls can't move or flip over. I love that because then you can't just pack someone into the wall.
Yep.
Sometimes you're going to hurt your car worse if you're hitting a dude in the cage and he's against a concrete wall. Your front's going to snoop before that car goes.
Yep.
I mean, you got to start thinking about that as a driver too. Like, there's nowhere for that car to go, and there's nowhere for that wall to go.
Yep.
So, I mean, I love the concrete wall. That I felt like that was a game changer for the show.
I did too, especially how fast that track is.
Oh.
And I do believe because you brought Krista Florian down, I should be getting a spiff off that. So
Yeah.
I'll send you my address, bud, so you can send me that
If
check.
Krista
So-
Florian can get some Florida dirt that hard, then he deserves all the credit in the world.
I told him, I said, if you screw up in Florida, dude, everybody's going to doubt you in Madison. So do not screw up in Florida.
I mean, he says he can do it. Steve's talked to him and Joe's talked to him, and he says he can do it. But
He's
I
a
pray
dirt
to
guy.
God,
He's an actual dirt guy, but
I pray that it happens because no one ever wants to see a track fall apart. I don't care
No.
what promoter you are. I was in Louisville, Kentucky, the year that they had Freedom Hall on their track. Everyone sunk, and my heart sunk for the promoter.
Yep.
You don't want the track to ever beat you. But then guys that call and ask, how's the track? It's Florida.
Yep.
I don't know what else to tell you besides build your car to be able to withstand a hole or two if it does dig.
Yep. Build it for sand, and then when we have it hard, you're good to go. And
Yeah.
Chris and I have strategized a bunch on Florida and tried to talk through a bunch of stuff, and it's good. I mean, he'll be there. He's going to get it good. So now, Nick, here's the magic question: if I sneak down, do I get a pit pass? Or
Yeah.
Gonna make, okay, man. I
No.
just want to make sure you're going to take care
Full
of it.
access.
I'll even wear my Iron City gear, bud. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm in
full
your corner,
access.
bud.
You can hang out with Todd all day long.
I'll take Todd off your plate. He'll buy me lunch, and we'll be good to go, man. By
Yeah,
the time
you
I get
too.
out of there, we'll own 3 businesses together and some bar down in downtown Pittsburgh. He's going to tell me all about that.
Yeah.
I tried to go to, but he wouldn't let me in. So
Yeah. You two can have the day to yourselves.
get
I
him out of
told
Steve's
Sam,
hair.
I told Sam when this started, I'm kind of bummed. I didn't plan it this way. I'm literally going to Florida the week after.
Man,
Really?
you gotta be better
Yeah,
planning.
we're leaving on Tuesday after. I'm like,
Yeah, I leave
for.
for Florida that Sunday night after Madison. So
Ugh,
yeah.
that's tough. That's
Yeah,
tough.
I get to wake up probably about 7 a.m. in Madison, shoot home, and jump on an airplane to go to Florida. So
That's crazy. All right, buddy. Anybody you want to thank? We're gonna let you go here. Anybody you want to thank?
thank
Anybody
all
out
of
there?
you guys, Iron City. Everyone I work for. Thanks all the drivers that's been calling, working with us, making sure everything's good, and yeah,
Good deal,
We're
man.
ready to-
Toast moving to Indiana. Good things. I'm hearing good things about it.
yeah, I'm happy. It's easier for me. It's only a 3-hour drive now instead of a 6.
Yeah, and it's kind of his home base, anyways. It'll be good.
I've actually never been to that facility, but all my buddies have ran there before. My buddies from home, they said it's a really nice facility, really nice place. So,
That's awesome, man. Well, Nick, thanks for joining us, buddy.
yep,
And,
no problem.
We will see you I'll see you in about a month, but Dustin
Yep.
will see you in a couple months.
Yes, sir. We'll see you guys.
See you, brother.
Yep. Thank you.
All right. Well, there's old Nick King.
That was pretty low key.
That was pretty low key. He would definitely come on nervous. We're gonna have to tell him to cut loose a little bit here. I mean, throw in an F-bomb or something here. We gotta throw in a little bit of
Lighten
excitement.
up, Nick.
So,
You know,
dude,
you
I wore
played
a
that
green.
video.
Do what
What's
you
that?
say?
I said you played that video, and I kind of got a soft spot for Chris Marquardt. It was nice to hear his voice on there.
I tell you
Maybe
what.
one day I can get to collab with him. That's kind of bucket list for me. Me and him have been kind of friends.
I ask him every event, man.
man.
I ask him every event to come join us, and one of these times he's going to cave and join us. And you know, he was there for the early days of Ultimate Derby, and they built pay-per-view from the ground up. And I tell you what, he is class act in my mind. And that dude could ask me for anything. And it was funny because I sent him a message through Facebook just to the Iron City Promotions because I didn't know who had it. And I just said, hey, if anybody could send me a promo video, I got Nick coming on. He emailed it, sent it through Messenger, text me. I mean, he got it to me right away. And so, Chris Marquardt, thank you for that. He's class act.
100%.
You know, another class act I want to do a huge shout out to is Frankie Guy. Wearing his hat tonight. I know green and blue do not go together, but I wanted to wear Frankie's hat tonight and tell him, hey man, I know he had a tough 10 days in the hospital. Sound like they got his heart restarted the right way and jump started. And you know, he's I owe him a phone call back. He tried calling me this week, so I just want to give him a huge shout out tonight and let him know we're thinking about him and his wife over there. And so I'm glad he's out and doing better. And that's great, man. We got a lot of good people in this sport, and we want to see him keep going the right direction.
Yeah. He was so good to work with when we went to Youth Nationals, and I seen all that, and that hits real close to home to me. That's what happened to my old man, and the whole rhythm thing, and ended up with all kinds of multiple trips. But glad to see he's back at it, and already that's one thing, Frankie boy, he's on the videos.
Yes.
Like, right now.
He's letting y'all know, hey, I'm back. I guarantee he would have done one from the hospital if they would have given him his phone.
Yeah, I bet. And I seen Mark Elliott post that stuff for him and give him a little encouragement, and they moved Youth Nationals to Washington Courthouse.
Yeah, that's going to be great. That's the phone call. I got to get back to him this week, find out if we're coming back or not. So hopefully we will. We want to have that one on our schedule. But yeah, we're going to do this kind of format every week, and we're going to bring on some We Crash stuff, some UD stuff, some non-UD stuff, other people in the industry. We're going to try to find fun videos that we can incorporate into the podcast. And I have big hopes and dreams for this podcast. So what do you think of the new studio? Did you like it?
I love the interactive part. They'll just be getting everything dialed, especially for the guests, to make them custom or comfortable and whatnot. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet, if I'm going to stick with this background or not. I don't like the blur out part, but we'll work on it.
I'm doing the same thing.
It's better than Zoom, 1,000%. So we'll get it dialed in.
No, I'm happy with it. I played with my stuff, putting stuff on the shelf, taking stuff off the shelf. I don't like the background, so I figured, you know what? I watched the old Kelsey brothers, and they just went all natural in their garage. So I was like, you know what? Can't be too bad. If it works for them, I guess I can just do it myself. So it's good stuff. But, well, Dustin, until next week, we'll do this again.
Yeah, looking forward to it. You can get me next week. I think the week after, I might have to find a fill-in, but I'm good next week.
All right, I'm going to put it on the schedule. Anybody out there wants to fill in for Dustin Anderson, just reach out to me. Y'all have my phone number.
It ain't much of a job.
That's because they got to put up with me.
That's the hard part.
All right, buddy, we're going to take you out of here on a Madison promo video done by High Octane Media, and we will see everybody next week.
See you next week, guys. Thank you.